What's happening, everyone? TomGorian here, and the second deep dive for F1 24 has officially came out, looking at the brand, quote, new career mode for F1 24. They've only focused this year on the driver career. There was little to no mention as far as my team career mode or anything else, but the information and the details we got for the driver career as far as what is new for this mode in this year's game is very interesting indeed. So as of course the trailer for the career mode deep dive of F1 24 will be playing in the background, and it focuses quite a lot on the new features as far as us starting with drivers instead of just our creator drivers. And it's not just F1, but it's also F2 drivers, and it's also the fact that we can use icons in F1 24 career mode. They focus on objectives as far as weekend and season long objectives. They also made a massive focus on silly season as far as the driver market is concerned, and the ability to have secret meetings, and of course accolades when it comes to certain things as far as race wins, race starts, podiums, championships, etc. It's not the biggest, it's not like mode changing or anything, but it's very interesting nonetheless. So the first major thing that they mention about in F1 24's career mode is the fact that you can start your career as one of the existing 2024 drivers or one of the existing F2 2023/2024 drivers. But what really got me excited, if anything, is the fact that you can actually pick one of the icons in F1 24 and you can use them in any mode as far as any driver career. So it's either single player driver or the two-player driver career mode. And I can't lie, the fact that I could be using Nigel Mansell or Ayrton Senna or Michael Schumacher in a two-player career mode, that just sounds so much fun. And just the amount of stories we could tell, imagine, being Ayrton Senna, and plus also from a content standpoint, this gives me a ton of ideas. What if Lewis Hamilton and Ayrton Senna were teammates, or Senna and Verstappen were teammates, or what if Lewis Hamilton went to Ferrari? Well, I mean, he is going to Ferrari, but what if, Schumacher, driven in modern day, or Senna went to Ferrari in modern day? Like the imagination that you could have for this year's game as far as just general fun is ridiculous. Imagine me and someone else doing a two-player career, and I'm Michael Schumacher and the other's Ayrton Senna, and we're driving for Ferrari or Mercedes or Red Bull. That would be an amazing thing, especially with all these accolades. So I guess from that perspective, it's kind of fun and interesting, the fact that you are able now to select a driver from current F1, current F2, or an F1 icon and start the season the same way you would have as a creator driver. So as far as the menus are concerned, it looks like the menus on F1 24's career mode are pretty much the same as 22 and 23's. They didn't really make any significant change, with the car being in front of this massive screen with the driver that you're selected in front of it, and then you obviously have the tabs on the left hand side as far as overview, specialists, driver details, R&D, vehicle standings, and then of course below that you have the advanced and the message menus, and then of course below that you have the timeline. So it looks like the timeline has returned in F1 24, and as far as the R&D is concerned, we still have the R&D boxes from the last two games. So it looks like we're not going to get the R&D tree that we saw in 2017 Beyond, but we are getting the return of the R&D boxes for each development path as far as the engine, chassis, aerodynamics, and also the durability. The second big thing that they mentioned about F1 24's career mode is obviously the new secret meetings feature. So let's say, for example, you're driving for Haas, and obviously since silly season's in the middle of the season before the summer break, you'll get a bit of a event notification in your timeline, telling you about a secret meeting as you're seeing on the screen. And it could be from a rival team, it could be from Alpine, it could be from Williams, Williams. It could even be one of the higher ups, like maybe, I don't know, Red Bull, Ferrari, or Mercedes, depending on where you're driving. And I said it when it was announced in the reveal. I think this is a very interesting feature, because if you have this ability to let no one know that you've had this secret meeting, especially if you're driving for a top team, let's say you're driving for Mercedes and you have a secret meeting with Red Bull, the ability that you can tell literally no one about your secret meeting to the point where you shock the entire paddock. And the funny thing is, there's going to be cutscenes as well in F1 24 as far as these little meetings happening. They showed it in the trailer with Natalie Pinkham and Anthony Davidson on a couch in the paddock. That's actually quite interesting. So what if, not just us, but what if the AI makes a shock move, and let's say Max Verstappen, goes to Alpine or something ahead of a regulation change. I wonder if it's just us that we can trigger these cutscenes, kind of like Sky Sports with the breaking news. So maybe if, word gets out that you've signed a deal with Ferrari, even if you're a Mercedes driver, and word gets out, maybe we get a surprise notification or a surprise cutscene with Natalie Pinkham and also Anthony Davidson, or maybe it's another driver, maybe it's Lewis Hamilton, switching teams, or Max, or Valtteri Bottas, or maybe even Daniel Ricciardo, who knows. But I just hope that these types of cutscenes ain't triggered when it comes to our moves, and I hope it's triggered for the AI moves. And I think if it is triggered for AI driver moves, then our driver career saves will be completely different. So the third element that they talk about in this career mode trailer is the research and development. And again, they haven't really changed much as far as the menus or as far as how you do research and development, but they did make mention that with drivers with high reputation, they can unlock upgrades more quicker, and the upgrades can come more faster. So as you can see, Alex Albon for Williams, I think, pretty much as you can see in the trailer, there's a chassis upgrade, there's an engine store cells positioning upgrade for 1700 resource points, and they highlight on the top right, morale is high with a 30% decrease, or minus 30% failure chance, and the build time is pretty much half the time at minus 50%. I'm guessing the higher the reputation, the less time it takes for upgrades, the less failures, and pretty much more overpowered upgrades. And that was the one thing that I think a lot of career mode players, including myself, have had over the last couple of games, where if you score points in 5, 6, 7 races, it's not really a grind to become the quickest car. I think in the Haas to Glory last year, I think we started the Haas to Glory, with the third worst car or the second worst car, and then by the end of season 1, we were pretty much the third best or fourth best, and then by the end of the series, we were mixing it as far as the most developed car and the third or second most developed car. The point is that in F1 23 and career modes in previous games, it didn't take you that long to give you the best car. Unlike in F1 2017, where it would take you at least a couple seasons to get this solid best car, now it just takes you a season or 2 seasons or 2.5 seasons if you play that long, for you to get the best car. So hopefully, I hope that Codemasters and EA find the balance as far as our upgrades compared to the AI's upgrades, and hopefully there's not really an unbalancing as far as the AI upgrades being overpowered compared to our ones, and then when we start doing well, we get a couple of upgrades, a couple of majors or a couple of ultimate upgrades, and then we go from the 5th quickest car all the way to the fastest car. So the third big thing that they announced in this reveal trailer, or this career mode deep dive, was this new accolades mode. Now, if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much a system that tracks long-term milestones for your F1 drivers. So they highlighted in this one a couple of F1 drivers. They started with Alex Albon, and as you can see from the trailer, it has pretty much the same menu tabs on the left hand side, and I think Albon's in the trophy room, I believe, because as you can see there's some of the trophies there. I think that's an Ayrton Senna driver inspired suit, and then on the left center as you can see, you have the race starts, top 10 finishes, podium finishes, championship points, and championship top 5. And as you can see, the more you have as far as more race starts, more top 10 finishes, you know, it goes in tiers. So I think tier 1 is obviously 100, and I think it goes by 100. So tier 1 is 100, and it goes up every 100. You know, if it be race starts, points, if it be, you know, championships. I mean, it's impossible to have 100 championships, but I think you get the point. It goes up by every 100. So if you score 100 points, you're going to be in tier 2. If you score 200 points, you're going to be in tier 3, and so on and so forth. As far as what, I don't know what exactly this unlocks, to be fair, but I think if it's another way of keeping mileage and just keeping a general record of what you've done in the career mode, I think it's a good feature. You know, they mentioned about Lewis Hamilton. If you choose Lewis Hamilton to drive, as the ultimate goal is to win the 8th world title, and if you're Max Verstappen, your aim is to defend your world championship and become a four-time Formula 1 world champion. So I'm guessing it kind of works like milestones in the NBA 2K series, how you have, you know, start your very first, you know, F1 race, and then your first season, second season, third season, and then eventually, you know, it goes all the way towards winning the constructors and of course winning the driver's title. Now, I don't know if these things are going to be in the My Team element of career mode, as far as these accolades and the silly season talk, and, you know, maybe pick an icon. Well, obviously picking icons, they'll be in My Team, but I'm just not sure about these accolades as far as only being in driver career modes. And finally, to end off this video, they do mention about the challenge career. It's pretty much a mix of the old scenario modes and the F1 esports challenge events back in the day, as far as in a certain track, certain scenario, certain, you know, conditions. But I think it's only like a 3 or 4 race thing, and whoever has the most points by the end of this mini event, you know, you could be racing, you know, in, you know, Kota, Suzuka, Canada, and maybe Spa, and whoever has the most points out of those 4 events is the overall champion. It's not really a bad idea. I know that recently they've been wanting to try and cater towards the more busy player, because not everyone can spend the time, you know, a solid hour or 2.5 hours, you know, doing practice, qualifying in a 50% race, and then doing that for a solid year or so, because they have school, work, university, or life in general. They've been doing this for years now, as far as trying to cater to that shorter attention span. But again, I think this mode is very interesting. Not really the best mode in the world, not a game-changing mode, but it's another layer. And surprisingly, that was that. No mention of new customization, as far as, you know, customizing our driver, our car liveries, the car design. There was also news that Lee Maver doesn't think going to Unreal is suitable. Maybe it's because of EAWRC or whatever, but it looks like EA heading into F1 2025 will be on Ego Engine, as far as right now is concerned, and that is very disappointing. My final thoughts on the career mode trailer for F1 24: underwhelming, to be honest. I thought they were going to be hiding a little bit more, not just, you know, what we saw in the leaks and the reveal of the game, as far as, you know, players and F1 driver and, you know, secret meetings. I mean, it's not. My problem with this is that they haven't really given us any monumental mode-changing features in this year's game. It's like an onion. They've just added small layers. You know, for example, the ability to drive as an F1 driver. You know, couldn't we just select a full championship and select someone else? I mean, yeah, we don't really have the driver transfers or the R&D upgrade, but you're achieving the exact same thing, even with F1 icons. And even with this ability of like the R&D and the secret meetings. First of all, they don't really do anything with the R&D now. They haven't done anything with research and development. I mean, of course, these are, you know, there's an objective based at the end of the season, where if you do these objectives, they kind of act like winter testing, where you can get resource points and all this other stuff. It's just, there's nothing major that was added in towards F1 24's career mode, and we needed something more than what we got. And it's underwhelming. It's not bad. I just expected a little bit more. I expected more customization. You know, I expected my team to get talked about, but they've made no effort for my team. My team hasn't changed. It's all driver career mode based, which I'm happy with. But at the same time, I just want more customization, because the F1 games are so far behind any other sports games, or even racing games for that matter, as far as what you can actually customize and select. And, you know, we're entering 2025 next year, and it's becoming a bit of a joke. But yeah, the overall feeling I'm getting of F1 24 is that it's not good enough. And I might make a video on this in the next couple of weeks before the game launches. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's not bad. It could be F1 2015 where there's no modes or anything, so at least we're getting a career mode. But for what we're getting year to year to year, it's literally nothing. It's underwhelming. And I just hope that, you know, the gameplay saves this game like it did 23. Because if you remove the gameplay from 23, what do you have? Not really much of anything. Same with 24. So F1 24's not breaking point. F1 24's drive career mode doesn't look that bad, but it's underwhelming to say it best. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button, stay subscribed to the channel for more F1 24 news. Gameplay is coming soon, and yeah, we're getting closer to the launch of the game in over a month's time. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe for more F1 24 content, and I'll see you all in the next F1 24 video. In a bit.